What's bracking, guys? Welcome to the final episode here, season 1 of my Aston Villa save in FM 2020. So this is going to be kind of a big recap episode. We're going to take a look at some stats, some decisions I made, plans, tactics, and I think just kind of a good episode for feedback. You guys can give me ideas for transfers, tactics, etc. As we go into the next season. So one big decision I made right off the bat was to basically come to agreements for a mutual contract termination with John Terry. He's not good enough when it comes to man management, judging player ability, judging player potential, in my opinion, for a assistant coach, and even just in general, like when it comes to the coaching, his defending and mental coaching is pretty low. We want someone who is much higher in those aspects. And I think if we want to be a better club, he's just not at that level yet. He's not a good coach at the moment, not a very good assistant coach. So we need to upgrade there. We will look to upgrade very shortly. I think that's somewhere where that's definitely a big deal for us. We got to be much better in that area. Kind of a little overview. You can see top goal scorer did end up being Wesley, even though he was injured half the season. Highest average rating, most assist was Connor Hurahan with 7. Best pass completion was Nakamba with 94%. Wesley had the most player of the matches. Ingles with 11 yellow cards. I think it was only just one person was sent off. I think there's maybe a couple others here and there, but Trezeguet was one of the players who was sent off. Kind of a bit bigger overview. You can see the goals. Pretty much most of them came from Wesley. You can see Borja Aston, Scott Hogan on loan. Trezeguet had 9. Samata had 9. Grealish had 5. El Ghazi had 4. McGinn with 2. Hurahan with 2. Angles with 1. I mean, much better goal production all around, really. But Samata, for coming in the second half of the season, did not do too bad for us. He's actually fairly well rated. I mean, he looks like he played well, and that's why I didn't really want to kick him out for a not fit yet Wesley. Wesley was not completely fit, and that's why that really helped Samata get a good opportunity and show his ability. So that helps us out. I think we're decent at striker at the moment. I think we can maybe look to improve some other positions, such as maybe wing opposite of Grealish, because Trezeguet has been completely inconsistent. It's been terrible. See Nakamba, very high pass completion. So we saw that before. And so a couple other areas, you can see tackles 1, blah, blah, blah. Nothing too big of a deal in that area. Mistakes leading to goal, though, you can see that worst player with that was Heaton. Total mistakes also. A lot of mistakes as a team. Grealish made a lot. Gilbert, McGinn, Trezeguet. So we definitely were pretty mistake prone. I think maybe that could have to do with like the morale, especially in the second half of the season. And we could also take a look at the general statistics here in the Premier League. I think we can see that, and you'll see how good of a defender Tyrone Mings was for us. Incredible defender he was. He's leading in pretty much most of the defensive attributes. Mings highest in key headers behind Diop. Obviously, he's a big dude. He's a giant. Nakama third in passing completion. I mean, makes sense. He's a defensive mid in a team that tries to keep the ball. Headers 1 is Mings is second. Sebastian Aller with 240. Though it's wild. Then Mings had the most interceptions made. That's awesome to see. Yellow cards, Ingles is actually up there. Then, yeah, that's about it. I think we could maybe look at some other stuff later. Key tackles, none of our guys are really on there. Most key passes. Hurahan was 7th in that mark, so that's not bad to see. Of course, top goal scorer. Wesley was in the race before he got hurt, so that was what was pretty frustrating to see. It's actually very frustrating to see in the end. Can switch over to player detailed really quickly for you if it actually decides to work. Don't really have too many guys probably in any of these lists, but chances created, we can take a look at that. Hurahan 14th. Dribbles per 90 minute. I think Grealish can maybe be on that in that area. He was quite a good dribbler for us. Was pretty good dribbler. No, he's not on there. Okay. Well, that's that. It's okay. Not really too much else to look for, in my opinion. Most tackles, 90 minutes. Best at hitting target, Wesley was pretty high in that area. It's not bad to see. It's really hard to use a freaking mouse. Not a mouse, a little pad on a freaking laptop. It's pissing me off. But other than that, we can take a look at the tactics, how players fared in the Premier League as a whole. 8 goals and 3 assists from Samata in this season. That's promising. Especially for his first season for a 27-year-old in the Premier League. It's a big step up. and I thought that was really encouraging to see. I enjoyed seeing that from him. Heaton, I think we'll just go from the tactics area and go down. Heaton was very good with his shot stopping ability. His passing is just not very good for a sweeper keeper, so that's a bit of a problem. He can't really play out the back to our liking. Colton's had a really good come up here in this season. He started off pretty inconsistent, but he took over at center back for a while. He was very good at center back. You can see 7.1, 7.6. But when Gilbert got hurt, he had to step in that right back role, and right when he was in top form too. That was a bit disappointing to have to see that happen. But the youngster is looking good. I like to see that. Then Engels was a very good center back this whole season. 6.93. He was injured for a bit part of it at the end there, but pretty solid for the most part. Mings was very good. You guys saw the stat, 6.97. So I think really our defense is not too bad. And Liko Giannis actually played pretty well. He did not start out the best. He was just a emergency fullback I bought. Because I just thought he had fairly well-rounded stats, and 6.82 rating and 14 matches played is not too bad. Nakamba was pretty solid, but I do think we could probably upgrade over him. He has really good work rate, aggression, bravery, though. He has good mental attributes, so that's something to think about. But he was pretty solid. But if you could try to upgrade over him, maybe a younger option to take over for him eventually, that would be. Herdahan was incredible with his ability to create. Probably was the highest rated player. I mean, 7 assists, 2 goals, created tons of chances with his key passes. He's getting older there. I didn't really expect him to be kind of more than a squad player, but he took over, man. McGinn, really inconsistent season, honestly. I'm not sure what to play him, like if I should play him as a box-to-box midfielder. He played a lot better, I thought, as a deep-lying playmaker, but two deep-lying playmakers I think is not a good idea, apparently. I don't know what you guys think, but he played a lot better as a deep-lying playmaker. Did not really play too well as a Mazzal in a couple opportunities he had in that area of the game. But obviously we switched him to box pretty quickly. And from then he kind of just dropped off. It was more just 6.8 ratings and lower sometimes, a couple of decent performances here and there. But he definitely did not have the best season all around. And I thought, Trezeguet, another player who was super inconsistent for us. He had 9 goals, 4 assists, but he was hit or miss. You're going to see it in the form area. Completely hit or miss. Completely hit or miss he was. It was 6.6, 6.4, then he'll grab a goal. 6.8, you have a 9.2 performance with 2 goals against Tottenham. Leicester, good performance. Norwich, good performance. But it's just between those performances, there's always just complete duds. He'll have a 9.2 rating, then go to 6.5. That's exactly just how he played. At one point, he got sent off 6.3 at a 6.4 against Newcastle. Against the teams he probably should be performing a lot better against, he was not very good. Same with Grealish. Not a good season all around, in my opinion. I mean, 5 goals, 6 assists, that's okay contributions for a 24-year-old, I guess. But he's a lot better player than that. And I think he's still growing. He still has the ability to grow quite a bit, honestly. He still has that ability to grow. But again, same with him consistency-wise. It just wasn't there. It just was not there for him throughout this season. I think it's good that we stayed up so he could kind of get that growth, though. Good and try to improve more as a player. We already saw Samata. Of course, Target was a guy who played fairly well at the start of the season. 12 matches, and he broke his leg or something like that. I think it was, and pretty much did not play since then. Because I mean, Liko Giannis was playing well and he was fit. Didn't want to have to work this guy in. That's kind of the issue I have. I worry of trying to work these unfit players in when other guys are in decent form. So he didn't really start to end the season. But he's definitely be starting next season. Douglas Luiz, not sure if I want to play him DM or center mid. He played about 16 matches, cup games. I think we're going to try to work him more next season. I think with Hurahan, he can maybe play in that deep line playmaker role as a DM. And once Hurahan is kind of starting to drop off as he's older, he doesn't have too bad of stats, but not bad. He mostly played off the bench, not played too much. Wesley, an incredible season, honestly. 22 matches, 12 goals, 2 assists, played very well. We got to see that finishing and composure improve, though, but he's only 23 years old. He probably is going to step back in the starting role next season, or we'll see how it goes, because Samantha's in pretty decent form. He's in decent form. for the most part, and then a pretty good average rating. In the last 5 games, he wasn't as good, but it's going to be an interesting battle. We may even have someone else we sign eventually. Courtney House had to step in as a left back for a little bit also, and he wasn't terrible. 6.7 rating. He's a decent little squad player. Can play that center back role, can play left back. So we're going to keep him around for sure, I'm thinking. El Ghazi, very consistent player also. 3 goals and assist. He played a lot of the majority of our games, though. Played the majority of our matches. Had some goals here and there. Wasn't too bad. But again, consistency was not there for him most of the season. That's something we're try to turn around with some of these players. Gilberto was actually a very solid fullback attacking-wise. 2 assists, got hurt at the end of the season. So Consa took over in that role for a little bit. And we'll see what happens. I think I could end up being Consa's role. Who knows? I mean, Consa has a very good just versatility to him. He can play defensive mid also, play center back. So I have to see what we do there. Ramsey, this youngster here I had on, not too bad. We're still trying to figure out his potential. It looks like he could end up being, decent, kind of. He could be championship level or a little bit higher. It seems like. Did not really contribute anything goal and assist wise, but you can see he did grow quite a bit. A lot of improvement from him from training with the first team and all that. Revan, just kind of a squad player. Probably going to send him out on loan. 2-star ability. End up being like an okay championship player we can make some money off. I think we're going to loan him out next season. And then Barry, the youngster who came from Barcelona, actually got some match time. And he has really good finishing already. 4-star or 5-star potential ability. So I think we just get him some games at like a League 1, League 2 level this next season. I think that would be a good idea. Try to get him some games at that level, or even keep him around with us and let him get some matches off the bench. I don't even know. We'll figure things out though. A lot of these guys you see here in the reserves are all going to probably be gone next season. Kalinic, Steer, Chester, I think is going to be leaving on a free. Mohammadi, I may try to sell him, but he's really like a big kind of figure in the squad, so I'm not sure. Might just want to keep him around as a backup reserve player. Lansbury, Jota, I would like to sell also. We do have some promising players in their youth as well. Harrison Sona actually looks pretty good. This youngster, 17 years old. I think we might give him some playing time in preseason, let him kind of train him with the first team. Ben Smith, 4 or 5-star potential ability, one of the youth intake players. So it could be decent. And, of course, we have a couple players out who are out on loan also. Progressing very, very well in training. This guy here is not actually has really good finishing, dribbling, first touch for a 16-year-old, but his mental attributes are not there yet. So that's something to keep in mind. Mental attributes are very important in this game. Cameron Archer. We do have a lot of these young strikers who I'm going to try to loan him out. He's not really too good, honestly. Urutayo actually is pretty promising also. 2-star. I think he could end up being like a bit better than maybe his potential ability is saying. I'm curious with him because he has pretty good crossing, first touch, but some of the other attributes are not good, such as work rate, passing, stamina. So if he can improve in some of those areas, he can certainly be quality, or we can make some money off of him, and we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, other than that, I think that about rounds it up. I think we would take a look at the squad. We do have, some other high potential players here on loan. Jacob Ramsey, who was on loan at Doncaster, does not look too bad. So I think our outlook is promising. We've got a lot of these young players going to be coming back from loan. Hepburn Murphy, I know he's pretty popular in FIFA. Very high finishing composure. I think what we could end up doing is bring him back, maybe as one of our we could probably give him some game time. I mean, his first year in the championship, 5 goals, 2 assists as a 21-year-old. Maybe loan him out again. I'm not sure. Let me know what you guys think with Hepburn Murphy. Jake Doyle Hayes actually did fairly well at the League 2 level. I think he might be close to the first team, but I could probably loan him out once more. So there's pretty promising players again with at this kind of U23 level. Caleb O'Hare. In League 1, 9 goals, 3 assists, not bad. He has really good dribbling ability, so he could be I think he might be a good winger if we can convert him to a winger a little bit more, but doesn't look too bad with some of his ability. I think once we get some better scouts and coaches to kind of evaluate that ability, that might help us also. Okay finishing composure, was loaned out to a Scottish club with 3 goals, so I'm going to loan him out again, I'm guessing. We have quite a few strikers. Lutonda, a guy who really I think the most thing he's probably just going to end up being a guy we make money off, has potential to be a championship player in the future. So I think we're going to loan him out again. I think that's a lot of what you guys are going to end up seeing is a lot of loans out. Might end up selling Keenan Davis because I think we've got some other players who are a bit better. So we're going to try to make some money with some of our youth players. I think that's a good way to kind of use our club to get some more funds. And we obviously also want some of these players to graduate, end up being good players in general. So you guys saw some of these other guys before. I don't think you guys saw Aberdeen Goldbridge. Maybe you did, but yeah, I think we did. We saw him earlier. But either way, we have some good young players. I think we just got to finish up and improve that staff. The youth intake wasn't the best, but I mean, one of those or two of those players were not too bad. Other than that, it was kind of disappointing, honestly. For the most part, I thought we could add a little bit better of a youth intake. I thought. I mean, of course, the winger here was one of the youth intake players also, Antonsen. 3.5 to 4.5 stars, so he could end up being a decent player. So we'll see how he pans out. But other than that, I'm not sure what else I could look at here. Finances. We're obviously going to be a lot better with our finances next season, with kind of that money coming in from the Prem, from staying in the Premier League. So that's certainly could be helpful with some of the transfers we want to make. Obviously, Club Vision, they're a bit disappointing because we didn't play attacking soccer. They want us to sign some more players. They're disappointed in that. But C+, I mean, we should be good to stay on. Did not do well with our cup run, but I don't care about the cup run. That's not a big deal for me. They do want us to sign players to sell for a profit. I think that's what we're going to see with a player like Lutonda, some of the other guys that were with our youth academy. So that's something we could definitely satisfy. I just don't think we have the players. Did not have the players that could always play attacking soccer, and that's what killed us. And we do need to try to sign for some more young players for the first team. Obviously, and that's something we'll certainly try to address in this upcoming transfer window next season. With that, guys, I think that just about rounds it out. I thought I kind of summed up a lot of this season. I mean, obviously, summing it up really, you're taking a look at the schedule. Amazing starts. I thought it was for the most part. I mean, we played really well to start this season. Very well. We got a 3-0 win. It was 4 matches unbeaten. In Bournemouth, we got destroyed by Wolves. Crystal Palace, we lost to. Came back against Newcastle with the win. Only lost 1-0 to United, then beat Arsenal and West Ham. Then again, kind of 4 matches winless. Win against Leicester, Norwich. Then we lost. And then Southampton, Burnley came back. And then after January, once January came, it was 2 wins and 4 draws. So we've had 2 wins and 4 draws in all of 2020. Like I said at the end of the last episode, that pretty much sums up 2020 in general. I guess I was foreshadowing this Rona, like as it was happening, man. But thank you guys for all this love and support, anyways. So again, we're gonna work on improving this team. If you guys have any suggestions to try to some wonder kids or something to look at, let me know, because we definitely need to improve this squad. I think we could certainly go maybe for some really good fullbacks, one good winger to be on the opposite side of Grealish, and maybe some improvement in the midfield, DM or center mid. I don't even know. It's always tough for me to figure out where to improve most. I think the giving game time to our fairly young team in general was a big deal, but I think we certainly have to get some bigger name players. I think we may try to target some decent players who are from some of the relegated sides. I think that's something we can end up doing. And we'll see how it works out, though, guys. Thank you all for tuning in. Hit that like button again. Leave those suggestions, constructive criticism, all those different comments in the comments section, baby. Hit that like button. I love you all. Thank you for tuning in. I'll be staying out now, and I'll catch you guys later.